Well, medication certainly helps, you know, patches and whatnot. But I think finding somebody, you know, on one, whether it's a friend, you know, whether it's a family member, and involving them in your quit, saying, hey, I really want to quit. I'm really fighting to do this now, and check in with them, you know, on a daily basis, you know, and have them ask, how are you doing today? Are you still hanging in there? You know, there's a lot of encouragement and strength and comfort that can be found in that. The other thing that I found was, you know, when you're smoking a cigarette, you're sucking on a cigarette. So I would fill my pockets with hard candy. And anytime I, you know, had this desire to suck on a cigarette, I'd pull that candy out and say, no, this tastes lots better, and I'll suck on that. You know, and it lasts as longer and longer than a cigarette to help you get through that point in time. You know, and the other thing is just really take a hard look at your life, you know, and see if you can find ways of, you know, reducing the amount of conflict in your own life, finding ways to express yourself more, whether it's finding hobbies or just going out and taking walks and enjoying the beauty and the fresh air, or whether it's going out and helping somebody else. There's a certain amount of strength and power, you know, that you receive when you reach out and you help somebody else, because it enriches their life. It enriches yours too. So there's a lot of different things that you could do if you're willing to just put yourself out there and spend the energy, you know, to figure them out and actually follow them through.
So now, in the video that I saw posted, it was you were kind of focusing on your family. I don't know, you know,
Right.
if you were talking about a bunch of stuff and that's what they specifically chose, like, to, you know, focus on, but I thought that was kind of important that you're drawing attention. It's, you know, it's kind of a selfish decision to continue smoking in some ways because, you know, you know, it's drawing away from your family. So, is there any way that you could talk a little bit about that? Like, was that behind some of your decisions that you've made within the past, you know, couple of years? Or how long have you been doing this for?
Well, I have 5 years and 8 months now without smoking. I quit smoking before my grandson, who's 3 now, was born, or my granddaughter, who is 1. I think it was important to focus on that because in the beginning, before my daughter was born, it was just me, and I felt I'm not hurting anybody but myself, you know. And then my daughter was born, you know, and you know, I can tell you that having a child is a life-changing force. I mean, when she was first born, the doctor handed her to me, and I just looked down at her, and I just had tears running down my face, and I had no words. I couldn't put into words what was happening in my heart at that moment, that, you know, so many things were changing and being born, you know, that it wasn't funny, you know, and it's like my life had just been enriched, and my heart had doubled in size, you know, just from that one event, you know. And prior to that, I felt like, you know, life was kind of meaningless. I had no direction, you know, and it didn't matter to me whether I lived or died at that point. But when she was born, it changed everything, you know. And it was, oddly enough, when my grandson was born, my heart, for some reason, quadrupled. It just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it got big so fast that I actually became alarmed. You know, I'm thinking, it can't get any bigger than this. My heart can't take this. It's going to burst. You know, and I don't know why, you know, or what it was that, you know, having a grandchild was so special. Maybe because he's my daughter's child, you know, but it really brought so much tremendous joy to me, but it brought so much sadness too, because here I destroyed my life with cigarettes because I believed that it didn't matter, that I was only hurting myself. Now I have a wonderful grandson, a wonderful granddaughter I love more than anything in the world, you know, and they love me so much. It's unspeakable. It's, you know, it just, you can't put a value on that or even describe it adequately. And yet, I have to say goodbye to them at some point. I know that. If I don't get the lung transplants, it's over. And how do you let go of something like that? You know, I'll never be able to say goodbye to them. It's just not possible. You know, and I keep thinking about the pain that they're going to experience when Papa goes, because they depend on me so much and love me so much. You know, and I'm a guy that at one point in my life, life wasn't worth living. I had nothing worth living for. But things changed. You know, and that's the thing I want to share with young people to do today. You know, I know there's so much alcoholism and there's so much abuse. There's so many things that happen in people's lives that they feel like life isn't worth living. But at some point, something changes. You meet that special someone, or you have a child, or you begin to realize and wake up, you know, that there's beauty all around you, that there's miracles, that life's a real adventure, you know, and if you'll just open your eyes and go after it, that you can enrich your own life beyond measure, you know, and it's things like that, you know, it was important to show, you know, this that way, and I think a lot of people can relate, you know, to this video, you know, and sure, you know, some people have said it's a anti-smoking commercial on steroids and it's not fair and it hits too hard. But this is the reality of tobacco use and smoking, the damage that it does. You know, it's a ripple effect. It's like throwing a rock in a pond. It's going to ripple out until it consumes the whole pond. It's going to touch every shore. You know, and that's the way the damage when we do to ourselves, you know, the pain isn't just our own. We're giving that pain to everyone around us. When we smoke, we're not just damaging ourselves, we're damaging anybody around us. You know, this thing is hideous, you know, and people just got to wake up to just how dangerous, how ugly, and how hideous this thing really is, and that there's so much pain associated with it, and it doesn't discriminate on who it takes or who it hurts, you know, and I'm hoping to get this reality, especially to young people, because they haven't created the damage yet that I'm having to live with. And I'm begging them and I'm pleading with them, please, don't do it. Don't shut this message out. Take it to heart and fight for your own life now. Start now, not later.
I mean, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, is there anything that you feel that you need to add? I mean, that's all I really needed for my piece, but
I would just like to say, you know, people are funny in a way that, you know, they can take things and run with them in different directions. Certainly when the doctor told me, you know, you will only have 5 years to live if you're lucky. I mean, I could have run the other way. I could have said, well, I'm not going to deal with this and stayed drunk, you know, so I didn't have to face this. Or I could have decided, well, life owes me everything and has never given me anything, and gone out there and tried to take everything that I could possibly take or experience in what little time that I had left. But instead, you know, because I was able to learn how to process pain right, you know, I decided that I wanted to lay my life down. I wanted to lay it down for other people, for their benefit. And I benefit from it too, you know, because like I say, anybody that quits, you know, I experience so much joy in that, you know, and I know even after I'm gone, my daughter's going to be able to say, that was my daddy. And my grandchildren are going to be able to point at a picture of me, or somebody's talking about me and say, that was my papa. And they're going to feel so much pride. So, you know, I've chosen wisely with what I'm going to do. You know, and I want to encourage people to really think about the choices they make in their life and choose wisely. You know, life's what you make it. You can make it a wonderful adventure, or you can sit by and wait for somebody to make it an adventure for you, and that may take a long time. You know, so I'd like to encourage people to stand up and pursue their dreams and bring them to pass. I mean, there's so much that life has to offer if we just get up and embrace it and go after it.
thank you.